Welcome.
We are back. Welcome back to the Free Gems Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. You are now tuned in.
We got the Free Gems in here.
Free Gems in here. Listen, we got a very special guest. You know what I'm saying? We got the one and only guy for his return to the podcast.
Guy from New Jersey in the building. You know, episode 2. We had to run it back.
And fresh off the recent release to Patience is Key. You know what I'm saying? My boy got a whole lot of work coming out right now, man. We've been seeing you making a lot of waves on the internet. You know,
absolutely.
Seeing you headlining your big show.
Yeah,
we're gonna get into all of that right now.
We gotta really get into all that because right now, what you've been doing, you've been moving mountains. You feel me? You've been you know, we definitely see the grind and everything is really coming together real nicely, and it's a beautiful thing to see.
Thank you,
man.
It's a beautiful thing to see. We doing 10 of these, man.
Listen, when talent and preparation comes together, it's a perfect marriage. You know,
we were just talking about that yesterday. We couldn't remember what the quote was. Thank you for that.
He's good for that. He's good for the quotes. He got some literature in his head stuck in there. You know what I'm saying? But listen, bro, we here, man. We appreciate you coming in, and we want to catch up with you. You know, we want to see what's been going on as far as like you know, where's Guy at right now as far as music and what you got coming up, because we know we got this big event. I'm excited to talk about it.
Yeah, so I mean, music wise, November 15th, having my first ever headliner show.
Oh, headliner show. That's what you're talking about.
Tell people where it's going to be at, though. Tell people where it's going to
be. In the hometown, Teaneck, New Jersey.
Let's go.
Listen, trying to sell this out. Be the first artist in over a decade to sell this out. And we halfway sold out right now, so.
Fire. With 2 weeks left.
Still, 2 weeks ago. I already know, like, week of, it's going to.
Yeah.
Wow.
And like I said, I told you, just send me whatever to post, and I got you because we posting, because I'm trying to help you sell that shit out because I want to see that shit.
I need big ass posting on it.
No. First headlining show, that's beautiful in the hometown. Yeah. You know, a lot of times, both of those things don't happen for a lot of artists. You know, they don't get a chance to headline their own show, and especially in their hometown. You know, so I'm excited for it. It's going to be beautiful, and you know, we see a lot of the the local buzz that you're getting, but I also see that you've been moving around a lot. I see you were on the West Coast a little bit. You were at VCon and everything.
Yeah. That was really cool.
You know, walk us through that. How were you able to get that opportunity? And then, let me know what Gary Vee was like in general.
Yeah, so to starting point, so for people who don't know, VaynerMedia is one of the companies that Gary Vee owns. And so a couple months ago, I had the pleasure of meeting this guy named Tyler Walsh, who's like big on socials for what do you do, going up to people like, what do you do for a living? What do you do for interviews? A lot of big artists. So we connected on socials and we were talking. He was like, bro, your music is fire. Like, we got to connect. And I'm like, man, just let me know. Like, so we linked up one day in the city to film content, and he showed me the office in New York, and pretty much like I was checking it out. I was meeting some of the people there. And then, he was like, I really want to show your music to my boss, essentially. His name's Mike Boyd, who him and Tyler are just unbelievable people. And so they invited me to this, like, it was kind of like a private event called like a Pass the Aux, which basically like in the city, I can't remember what the name of the studio was, but basically like the studio, they booked it out like the main room, and they had like invited specific artists where like we would all play music for each other.
Oh, that's wow.
And it was funny because so I walked in, I was, you gotta put that on when you stepping out. So I walked
you can curse by the way.
Great shit on. I didn't know if y'all leveled up to that point.
We here. Come on, man.
I was putting that shit on when I walked in. Respectfully.
Yeah.
Sound like Jabbar Hakeem. Respectfully. But,
shout out my boy Ball too.
Yeah, so I went in there and Mike was in the lounge of the studio, and I was like, yo, what's good? Like, I thought he knew because Tyler was telling me he really wants to meet you. So I'm like, he was in the middle of a convo, so I was like, oh, he's probably busy. So I went into the main, like, into the A room. Yeah. And later, Kyoko was talking to him, and he was like, did you get to meet Guy? And he like pointed me out, and he was like, that's Guy? Like, he's like, I thought he was an influencer or something like that. I was like,
it's because you got the look, bro. You already look like an artist.
It was hilarious though, because he was like, in my mind, he already knew, but like, it was a very funny, awkward interaction. But yeah, after that, like, I played my music, and a lot of people in the room were really like gravitating towards it. So he asked us to kind of like the next day if we wanted to link up in Jersey and like, just shoot the shit, grab a drink. So Kyoko and we went over and we linked him. we were just kind of talking, like, you know, he wanted to just get a little bit more info on me in terms of like what I'm trying to do, like what this means to me. And I kind of was breaking everything down, and like he really, really liked that I'm trying to really put on for Jersey because we haven't really had like a staple yet that's kind of like, you know, like stamping it.
I agree.
And you know, so like a week later he reached out to me with this idea for a song that they're trying to do in VaynerMedia, which is essentially they're a global company and they're trying to have artists, every location that they have an office in, they want to work with an artist from that jurisdiction.
Wow.
Yeah, so the songs are meant to be for the company to unite the offices.
Wow.
So like he reached out to me, kind of pitched the idea, and like luckily I told him it doesn't always happen like this, but I just caught inspiration and made the song in like 2 hours, sent it back to him.
Yeah. Wow.
And he was like, I love this. And like then it was just like a couple weeks of getting it greenlit because they had to run it by like, you know, like the CMO and other teams just to make sure, because the song had to like have certain values that represent the company. Of course, why I start the song with like feel like I'm Gary V.
Right. Yeah, it was genius.
Because I was just trying to make it like, I've heard a lot of songs where people do stuff for like campaigns or whatever, and people wouldn't listen to those songs on their own time.
Yes.
Yes, important.
It's like you do
That's
it in a
true.
commercial. If it plays, you're like, okay, cool. So I was like, how can I make this a song that still feels like me, that people would just play because it's a dope song, and it also can be attached to them. So like, that's why I was like, I could have went in there and made it super like spiritual, and I was like, but nah, I'm gonna keep it authentic to me. And and now like the song, you know, then it was a process of just like rolling the song out, getting greenlit, and then Mike invited us to VCon. So we went to VCon. I know this is a long story.
No, you got to
listen.
here.
Go ahead.
There's a lot of points, and we went to VCon, and VCon was like probably my first time experiencing like when you get to that state of like people really like, you really want it was like overstimulating. I was like, go over here and meet this person. I want to introduce you to this person. Like I met like 300 people in the course of 2 days, and like was just really, because each person I meet with, I'm not just gonna be like, hello, goodbye.
No, you want, you know,
real
an
conversation.
Interaction.
So for people who don't understand exactly what VCon is, can you break it down a little bit as far as like what goes on?
Yeah, so VCon is pretty much like a conference, 3-day conference that Gary V kind of established, circulated, I believe, around like his V Friends organization, and kind of like how that all started. And basically it's like inviting a bunch of influencers, artists, I think anybody can just get a ticket, but people who are tuned in to pretty much connect, get to know each other, exchange their brands, exchange their platforms. So like, you know, Mike introduced me to like Mike Posner.
Wow.
I got to meet I got to meet a lot of people. I met this amazing woman named Michelle Barone who interviews a lot of celebrities, and we actually did an interview together too, and it was just like a lot of running around. And this guy Mike is so funny, man, because he would like introduce me to everybody. He's like, this is my favorite new artist. And I was like,
listen, I feel him on that.
But I'm like, you can't say it, because like there's other artists that know him standing around us, and I'm like, bro, you can't say that.
He probably heard Star Chase and was like, wait, what is this? This is ahead of its time. This was 2 years ago, and it still goes crazy.
Slow dancing in a crowded room to this day.
Oh
my God.
Yeah, listen,
in
man.
a crowded room is crazy.
Nah, listen.
It's a fire title, actually. But
Nah, I was just thinking that too.
yeah, that's actually fire.
But yeah, man. So the whole Gary V, because a lot of people might not know who Gary V is, but I've actually been following him right around since like, I think it was like 2019 during the pandemic.
Yeah.
He was going really, really viral, and you know, he was always talking about a lot of financial literacy, and he like really was ahead of the game as far as explaining like how important it is to be an influencer, to get on all these different platforms in order to create value in yourself. So Gary V was actually like a big inspiration for a little minute for me. So to see you guys working together, I'm like, this is so dope.
Dude.
Like to see,
thank you,
like to see that was just like mind blowing, because I'm like, yeah, God's going in the right direction. Like,
Bro,
he knows what he's doing. He
Gary,
did.
man.
Yeah.
Like, let me tell you, like, what's that? Like, it's funny because, so in this process, we set up a meeting for me to meet Gary, play him the song, get that as content and stuff like that. So this man Gary, first off, with this guy's schedule is insane. Like, this man is 105-minute meetings a day. Like, I've never witnessed that. But at the time, I'm not, you know, I don't know. I just assume he's a busy guy. So I went in and I had a meeting with him, and we were talking for about 15 minutes. And the next day when I came back to the office, everybody's like, guy had a meeting with Gary. Guess how long it was? 15 minutes. And I'm sitting there like,
that means a lot.
To me, I'm like, 15 minutes is not a lot of time. I was like, what? And like, people started telling me, you know, like, he only has 5. He doesn't go past 5 minutes. So the fact that he sat there with you for 15 minutes, like, means he cares. And even with him having such a limited amount of time to talk to people, every second that he talks to somebody is just genuine. He's completely present. Right. He's not in there just trying to.
He's actually present. He's actually 100%. Engaging. It's very authentic.
Yeah, he's extremely authentic, and even just the company like Mike, Tyler, all these guys are just phenomenal people. Ashley, Nina, Jada, all these people that I got to meet there. Just everybody who works there is just a phenomenal individual, as well as good at what they do, and the culture that he's established and the community that he's established is great, and which is like a lot of like what inspired me to kind of like, all right, now I'm ready to take this risk of doing this show, because the show, like a lot of people from our town aren't going to like take the money out of pocket to book the venue, right? Try and meet the requirements it costs to do that, and sell the amount of tickets that I'm trying to do. So it showed me a lot about taking risks, but like being authentic at the same time.
That's dope. And that's one thing. Well, I don't mean to cut you off, but the fact that you were putting this venue together, I remember you had called me right before, like you put the flyers out and stuff. You were like, "Yo, bro, I'm doing this thing. I really want to make sure I sell this out." And you were explaining to me like, "Yo, we're putting everything behind it to make it pop." So I'm like, "Yeah, you understand the concept completely of like, yo, I'm going all in. I'm investing. Rest in peace to Nipsey Hussle, all money in. Like it's a real thing." And I think that might. I don't know if you and Gary had that conversation, but like I'm sure like he would have been all the way tuned in. As soon as he heard that, he's like, okay, this kid gets it. It's not about sitting around and trying to find like a company just hand you some money and then let you and build you up. It's like, no, you're fully in the mode of like, yo, I'm taking whatever it takes to push myself forward, including investing my own money, which a lot of artists are scared to do, or just sometimes they don't have the means to. So like, it's a blessing that you have the mindset and the work ethic and the team around you to also, because I'm sure it's
big important.
Right, you're not by yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Key. He in the background.
Yeah,
right
shout out
Key. Man never's on camera.
Listen, that's all right. That's him though. That's Key.
Listen, Kyoko might be the manager. He might be the shooter. Who knows? Because the way he hides on camera, you're like, you got warrants or something, bro? Like he don't ever get on camera. And mind you, Kyoko be one of the flyest people in the room.
Always.
And my boy refused to get on camera, but I respect it. You know what I'm saying?
And you said something important. The fact that you just went all in, and a lot of people are afraid to take that risk, or they're thinking about the what if. In your situation, especially how you've been moving, there is no plan B. This is it. This is gonna work out.
Yeah.
And no, go ahead.
And all things going according to plan. Like, it's not even about making a profit on the show for me.
No.
Like, selling out for me, like, what I want to do is, especially having like local openers. Like, my goal is like, if I sell this out, when I sell this out and allocate that money, I want to be able to pay the openers.
Wow, that's like love.
That, because a lot of a lot of local acts probably haven't experienced being paid for a show yet.
Oh, they're probably paying to perform.
Yeah, so
that's
I want to.
People don't know about that.
And that's not like my time in Louisville and like other people I've met. Like, that's not I really want to put a stamp on. The whole point of this is to show people like what we have here in Jersey, because that's why I titled the show "Welcome to New Jersey." So I feel like Jersey is consistently overlooked.
Like, I think we've
had like sparks of like, okay, this is Jersey club music, but people don't understand like how much community especially where we're from in Jersey. Like, I can't speak to like what goes on in Central Jersey or South Jersey, but I know that Bergen County itself is extremely like tied in, connected. People actually care about each other. Like, this narrative of like, oh, we have this narrative of like people don't fuck with each other in Jersey, and I'm like, where we at?
Yeah, I'm about to say.
I don't know what y'all talking
really
about.
From Bergen County to Passaic County and parts of Essex County for real.
Yeah,
most people from Patterson, especially artist wise, are tuned in with Bergen County artists too.
100%.
And same thing with Essex County down to Newark to all this whole area, North Jersey for sure. Like you said, it's a powerhouse within itself, and it's definitely a community vibe, and I don't think it gets enough of a light on this. So I'm excited to see what you guys put together.
Yeah, man, I want it to feel like a reunion in there. I want people to walk in and see someone they haven't seen for 10 years. Because when I did the show in Brooklyn, Yeah, like that's all I was hearing. Is like, bro, I haven't seen this person since we were little, and like I saw them at your show, and it was so good to see them, and I was like, that's what this is about.
Bridging that connection. And you said something that's very important as well. The fact that you're shelling out money to put together this show. And then you said it's not about making money. And then you said you want to pay the artist there. It's not about, okay, I'm the one who dished out money for this show, so I'm going to make sure I recoup. No. The artists that are headlining this show, I want them to feel like they matter. I want them not only to perhaps perform, have a good show, but if I can recoup enough money to pay them, you know what I mean? That's a whole different mindset that you got going on there, and that's very respectable and commendable.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. And even the people that I chose to be on the show, a lot of people, asked me how, if there was a slot to perform, and I was just like, there's a reason why I'm keeping it the way it is. It's just has nothing to do with talent or anything like that. To me, it's like someone like Cor Blanco, for example, who I just think is pivotal in our area of music. He like has giving him his flowers. I don't want to say started a bunch of careers, but he's been a catalyst in a lot of local acts, being able to make music, producing their music, making dope music himself, just being an overall, creative. And I think like he's really, really important to this community, as well as like Dre Breezy and Ayo Tone have been doing this for like Dre has been rapping, I think, more than anybody in Teaneck for real. And like I remember being in 8th grade and he was like, he was rapping, and I was like, dude, how does that even work? Like, like how do you, like, what is the studio like? How does that work? And he's been through a lot and doing a lot, and I just want him to like know that he's important to this community, And there's a bunch of other artists, that are important to this community. A Money,
of
course.
ATM, Stacy Money. There's a ton of artists.
All you just named a lot of heavy hitters. Just
a lot of people you named, like low key. They've had little spurts inside of big industry. Big industry. They've had placements. Like I know Corden produced for like Jack Harlow and stuff like that. Like
it's crazy. I'm having some people like Tufo and some other guys saying they better. And now they on camera now, so y'all better be there. So, but they that's another thing is like I'm trying to really give people full circle moments also. So like Tufo, who's produced a lot of Jack's catalog, and he just produced on Future's newest project.
Wow.
I think he did co-produced MJ on that one.
That's a jam.
That shit is crazy.
But that shit is crazy. He said he's gonna fly in for the show, and then for me to like let Corey see him again, and then get to chop it up.
Full circle moment.
Full circle moment.
That's dope. That's
full circle moment. And then I'm excited. So tell the people again where the venue is and what date and what time.
November 15th, Teaneck, New Jersey, Debonair Music Hall, Queen Anne Road. I better see you there. Listen, don't hit me when you can't get in.
Right. Because it's going to sell out.
You can try and hit Key, but I'm telling you, definitely don't hit them.
For sure.
Because they're going to be in there with a cup.
I've been bought my ticket. Listen, we solid. We locked in.
So I wanted to circle back for a little bit.
For sure.
You said about how you made a song for the VCon, correct?
For VaynerMedia.
For VaynerMedia. And you were talking about, your creative process and everything. Can you talk a little bit about your creative process and does your inspiration change on a base to base? Does it change, or is it normally like the same creative process each time, or does it, can you talk a little about that?
I think every artist, like, this is what's crazy is like, I think there's two sides to making music. I think there's either it flows and it comes right out, or it's a lot of tinkering. Like for me, there's so many days where I'm trying. It's not, and I'm searching for the thing that's gonna let it just happen. So, and I think any artist that tells you, it's like they can tell you how they made a song, but they can't really tell you how they made a song, because in that moment it's just a pure state of presence. Where you're not overthinking anything. It's just happening. And I think like you may get that initial idea out and then come back and tweak it up. A lot of times like for example, I'll use the Vayner song as an example. A lot of it starts with the music for me. A lot of it is like I'm super picky on beats and I'm trying to find the right beat, and it can be deflating. Yeah, to just like going through beats, you're not hearing anything you like, and then like if you've gone through like 40 beats by the time you get to 45 and maybe that one's good, but your ears are just tired.
Tapped out.
So it's a lot. I think making music is a lot of push and pull. And that song specifically, Mike called me, told me that whole concept of the offices and what, the song's trying to represent. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna tinker. And I opened my laptop. I heard the beat. Second I heard it, feel like I'm Gary V, pull a Get a Kiss charity. Like it came right out.
Yeah.
Like that first verse just flew right out. And then I had like a melody idea for the hook. Like, I just take my time, spread my light, I let it shine on you. So it was kind of there, but I didn't have all the words. So then there was a little bit of tinkering and figuring out the words. The second verse, once I had the hook, the second verse just started to flow too. Like, life hard, but you get through it. Like it kind of, but then there's other songs, like for where I'll have like Star Chaser, for example. I had feel like I'm falling again, right? But then there's the midsection of that song where it's like, it took me forever to figure that out because it was just like a weird placement and I couldn't figure out like what sounds good here. So like it took me 10 revisions to figure that out.
Okay.
That's so dope.
Yeah. So there's so many different, and I'm constantly like my inspiration is constantly changing and fluctuating.
Right. As it should as an artist. I feel like experience, like day-to-day experience could change how you feel today, and this will be a whole new sound than what it might be on Friday. And
I'm kind of like at a place I think like where my taste is maybe superseding like where I'm hearing what I'm hearing right now, because like I've got, a fair amount of music. I always feel like I never have enough music. Key is constantly telling me right now, like, we got enough unreleased music. Like, you need to focus on X, Y, and Z, which is great advice, but it's always like, no matter what we do right now, even what we're doing, on the front of my mind is like, I need to find that next thing. Like, because I'll make a bunch of songs, but it's got to be something that really, I'm like, shit, like
I see. You got to feel like you're progressing.
I got to feel like when I made that next thing, it's a progression of, and it's like whether it's a club record or, and as I experience different things, like I've got an unreleased song that I'm not going to title, and I have another unreleased song, 2 separate ones, and one is like, I think a really good song, but when I perform this other one, people are like, yo, what the and it's kind of, I performed it at SoundCloud last night, and people are like, yo, that shit is hard. And I'm like, fuck, I need more of those. Like, because that's some shit where it's like, you want people to be like, what the fuck is this? Like,
that's you have that tendency to do that though, man. Your versatility is crazy too.
Thanks, man.
Like, I just think also like your music ages really well. Like, I go back on SoundCloud, I listen to something from 2016, 17, and I'm like, yo, bro, been ahead of your time, especially with the melodic ability to get real melodic and then be able to like have that like a gloomy sound sometimes, like a real mellow tone. I like that's my shit too. You know what I mean?
You very versatile. There's some tracks where I can just late night cruise in a whip with the speakers blasting. I'm like, yo,
those are my favorite songs.
Yes, I'm that's what I want. My music really be in your bag. Like,
a sunny day, legit. I put on Healing. That's my shit.
Oh man, I gotta play out some of the unreleased shit,
but then that shit still be playing.
We're about to turn it to karaoke.
I'm telling you, it can in a second.
We talked about that you performed at SoundCloud last night in New York. So talk a little bit about that event, how you were able to get there, and how that experience came about, and how was it? Yeah,
so shout out to Vayner. So part of this rollout last night, Gary's got a new restaurant he opened recently, which is fire as fuck.
Always doing something.
It's called Flyfish. It's a membership only restaurant. So I think you have to be part owner in his NFT to be able to get in there. But so part of the rollout for this song, we wanted to meet with people from the DSPs, so we had plan was to meet with like people from Apple, Spotify, whatever. And last night we had dinner there, and then they were having a joint venture event with SoundCloud, Vayner and SoundCloud, and Up Past the Aux, which basically was like invite only, and you'd pull up and you'd perform 2 songs, and I showed up like after I went to the dinner with them, and then I walked in, and the second I walked in, they were like, "Go to the mic right now." I was like, "Damn, bro, I gotta take a piss. Like, I'm thirsty. Can I get a cup of water?" But so I just went straight to the mic, and they just like, it was like I stood on like this small speaker, and I was just like, went right in. But it was really cool because there were a lot of dope artists there. Like Fergie Baby was there.
Yeah, Fergie Baby's from Harlem, right?
Yeah. Which is dope.
Wow.
There were a lot of people there, so you know, I did my 2 songs, and then it was kind of just like a lot talking to a lot of people after, and it was really cool. The SoundCloud office is really cool. Yeah, man, it was cool. It was a good night.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. And like I said, you have that presence already. So when people see you, they can already tell, like, this guy has to have something creative going on. I don't know if it's the hair, the fly fit. I don't know what it is.
Star chaser.
Yeah, like, for real. So
I just try to be genuine, man.
I know you always stand out when you go into a room, but it's cool. Like you said, people recognize your talent immediately when they hear your music. That's one thing that, like, I love about music is that it's undeniable. Like, a great song is undeniable, and the way music affects us, like that, the vibration of the sound literally will make you move. You could be in a shitty mood, you listen to the right song,
frequency,
and it'll literally have you dancing. You can't be angry and dance at the same time.
Yeah,
I challenge you. It's impossible. Like, so it's like, you know, so when I certain songs, you know, I just love to see how they translate into, like, just feeding people into this good vibration, good energy, and I feel like your music brings a lot of that.
I appreciate it, man. It's something that's sometimes feels like it's easy. Sometimes it feels like there's a lot of ups and downs to it. But I think, like, the constant thing I see in the most successful people is they just fail faster and more consistently than other people.
Yeah.
And
damn, can we get a bomb for that? Yo, you just said some biblical shit just now.
That was a gem on the free gems right there.
Yo, for real. Damn.
I mean, I just think, like, one of my biggest fears is complacency, and I think like
me too.
Failing, like, I do struggle with, like, this feeling of, like, not wanting to fail, but I think, like, part of getting better in this and just getting more is just getting more accustomed to failure. And that, like, for example, like this show, like, there really is, like, one of two things is going to happen with this show. Like, it's either going to sell out and go phenomenal, or I'm going to learn something.
Either way is a win.
Either way is a win.
It's a win.
So
damn, but it's definitely going to sell out.
It's definitely going to sell out. It's either you succeed or you learn. Just like, you know, fail faster.
Yeah. So,
and then, you know, you pick up the pieces. However the show goes, you know, however it goes, you say, hey, this is how it went. This is how we can improve for the next show.
Yeah,
you know,
it's really fucking my head up. That quote is fucking my head up. Like, I'm thinking about a million examples at a time, and I'm like, yo, he's so right, bro. I fail on a fucking weekly basis with so many things that I'm trying to do. It's like, yo, you just gotta fail. Sometimes you just
fail forward.
Fail forward. Yeah. Yo, ding, this motherfucker's going crazy. Yeah, sometimes, bro, you just fit more consistently, and yo, you're so right, bro.
Yeah,
so many failures in order to climb that hill, but yeah, it's what it is. Like, you gotta be willing to
look
take
at you guys,
out.
man. Look at how many episodes or times where you probably were like, I could have did that better. I could have did that.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
you know?
No,
for sure. And it's funny because I know you're your own biggest critic. Like, I know you. Yeah. There's a reason why there's such a limited amount of your music out there, is because you're not putting out with you, everything has to be super high quality, down to the music videos, down to the treatments. Like, you could just tell that you put a certain amount of effort in, no matter what stage of your career you're in. You've always been that way. Like, even when your SoundCloud only had a couple songs on there for years, it's like you knew what you were doing. Like, you were like, nah, I'm holding back. I'm developing myself as an artist, and it's just because you're your own critic. And I'm sure Key's probably sick of telling you, bro, this is a hit. This is a hit. I know you in the studio, like, come on,
Let me
bro,
tell you
please.
something.
I know y'all go back and forth all the time.
We going back and forth on a song right now.
That's what I'm saying. I already know.
But let me tell you something. Key, and I'm so blessed for this, is one of the most critical people ever. And I'm not saying that with a negative connotation. Like, a lot of people can't handle somebody who's critical.
Yeah, and he's real matter of fact.
He's extreme. Real, but like, you know, like, he's extremely critical, and we get into it all the time, because there's some times where I'm just like, you don't need to say that right now. And he'll be like, I'm always gonna say what I feel, whether you're in a place to hear it or not. And at least that lets us know where we stand with each other. And especially when it comes to songs, at the end of the day, he's gonna support and stand on whatever it is I choose to do. Now, I think he has enough confidence and trust in me that I'm not gonna just throw some shit out there and do some shit, you know, like, so. But we go back and forth all the time where, like, there are songs that he thinks are good, and I disagree. There are songs that I'll like, some other people will like, but he won't be crazy about it. And he can also recognize a song that he may not like, but will also think he also can see that this song will do well. And for me, I want my closest friends to love the stuff I make before anybody else. So it's hard for me because although like maybe 5 people will say like this song I made recently last week, you know, I'm like, I made 2 songs last week and one of them is kind of vulnerable and he really likes that one. And the other one is kind of like a little interesting, a little like offbeat, not literally.
Unconventional, kind of.
Yeah, it's a little unconventional. And he was like, I got to listen to it again. And I'll send it to a couple other like close music friends and they're like, I like this a lot. But like that don't matter to him. Like he don't care.
No, right,
like,
right.
And for me, having someone like that is way more important than anything because like a lot of artists I see start their careers off with like this high taste level, and as they climb, the quality kind of decreases. And I just think like no matter what success we get, I never, even in the times where I'm not in a space to hear it and it's hard for me to hear it, no matter what I'm going through, or if I'm like, I could be the biggest artist in the world and I could be going through it, I never want him to change that opinion, even in the times where he knows that I'm gonna be pissed off to hear it.
That you said something that's very that's very good, because what you said, you know, a lot of times when artists or anybody ascends, it could be in business or whatever career it is, once you ascend, a lot of the times the people around them become yes men, or they only have yes men around them.
Yeah.
Who will, you know, who won't tell them what they need to hear, but tell them what they want to hear.
Yeah.
But if you always have somebody that will give you the honest truth, those are the people that you should hold close to you always, rather than somebody who's just going to tell you exactly what you need to hear. A lot of, you know, in any, like I said, in any field, no matter what, as when people start ascending, you know, a lot of people want to tell them exactly what they need to hear rather than what they need to hear. And the people that tell you what you need to hear, those are the people that you really need to put out a high emphasis on what they have to say, because at the end of the day, they just want what's best for you, you know?
Yeah. And that's why everything I do, like, like a lot of people will tell you, like, don't mix business with friends. And I'm like, bro, like, the profit I make comes second to my relationship. Yeah, 100%. And but especially like anybody that I got real love for, I'm constantly trying to put in a position to win. And you know, even people I may not know specifically, like, you know, like I'll introduce this person to that person. Like I do my best not to gatekeep things, unless you're gonna make me look stupid. I can't.
No, like, of course, because then, you know, you're going on a limb on my name. Now, if anything happens, now you're a representation of me.
Right. You know what I mean? People don't understand that having, like, it's like, I call it like a social credit score. Like, that's important.
That social credit score. That's a great way to put it.
I could be your best of friend, bro.
Great way to phrase
but
it.
if I can't vouch for some shit, I'm sorry, I just can't tap you in.
No,
like,
absolutely.
I just can't. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I remember, like, for example, you had hit me about a little music video with my man. I'm like, oh, immediately, because I'm like, I know guys for real. He's about his shit, and he also is talented enough where I'm like, anybody will be interested to work with you, because it's like, bro,
very professional.
Like I said, you can see his song one time or just visit your Instagram and you can just tell, okay, he's an artist for sure. Like, this is what he does. So that social credit score, I think people are underrated. You be wondering like, yo, bro, why you don't never feel me? Like, people like certain friends aren't supporting you, or this guy seems like he's hating on you because he's not doing this and that for you. It's like, yo, bro, I can't necessarily vouch for you. I can't tell you, oh yeah, link up with this producer, and then you don't show up to the studio, or just certain things like that. Or I tell you, I got this opportunity for you, you don't show up, or you show up super late, and it's like, bro, you need to make sure your social credit is correct.
Yo, bro, you believe me with your man? See, now I'm like, yo, more my bad, man. Like, what you want me to say?
People
like,
hit me up for you and be like, yo, can you put me on with your boy? I'm trying to buy a house. I'm like, when's the last time you did your taxes? Never did my taxes. Well, listen, you got a 2-year wait before you can really sit down and talk with bro, because you can't even get nothing started until about 2026. But certain stuff like that.
But
like,
no, social credit score. You just put a name to it. Which
I freestyled that, by the way.
I like that.
I'm stealing that for sure.
No,
that's my next song title.
I'm swiping.
I'll take it.
I'm swiping because that's extremely important. And you carry yourself a certain way where anybody would be willing to go out on a limb for you, because you know the type of person that you are. You know what I mean? If I were to recommend you to somebody, I don't have to worry about you and that person's relationship, or I don't have to think in my head, wow, should I have done that? You know, is Guy the right person that's going to represent me the right way? I already know. Oh, I have no problems, and that just goes to show you as a character. That just goes to show you as a person. That's not something you can fake. Right. You know what I mean?
Man, I try. I mean, being genuine is like one of the most important things for me, and like having integrity in what I do, and like making my presence known, but my reputation should definitely always precede me. And like some people, you know, I've had experiences with people ample times where it's like we don't know each other. Maybe they make, you know, like an assumption on who I am just because of like maybe we didn't get to interact the way we should have the first time. But then when we get a chance to really sit down, we have like a genuine conversation. They had no idea like this is how I operate, and like, you know, because like a big thing in Jersey, I think, is people that not to, you know, to shamelessly plug this show again.
Hey, listen, that's what we here for.
That's what we here for.
All right, November 15th.
Listen, be there. November 15th. But so like that's really like another thing that I'm trying to show with this show, no pun intended, is that for everybody who thinks that we move in a certain way, not just me, but like our community, the artists here, for people to show up, see each other, get to talk to each other, be like, damn, like we actually have a lot of great fucking people here. Like, and like for me to talk to Corey, like, shit, I saw Corey so many times in the last like year. I'm over exaggerating. I saw him a few times in the last year, and every time we saw each other, we were like, yo, we gotta lock in, man. Like, we gotta lock in. Life be life in though, so you know, things happen.
Oh yeah.
But then I called him. Sorry, Corey, I gotta air this out. But so I called him and I was like, you know, told him the idea of the show, and he was kind of like, something I respect about Corey, who's very similar to me, is like moves with a lot of integrity in what he does. So like if you call him up to just come to a show and perform, he's 9 times out of 10 probably not going to do that, because he's not a throw it together kind of guy. He's
a planner.
He's just like super like creative. So like his art form has to match with what he's doing.
Right.
And so when I explained the show to him, he was with it 100%, because I explained like, this isn't like a pull up, I'm going to pass you the mic, do a couple songs. This is like, no, I want people to know how important you are to this community. I want us to really establish, because every time we saw each other, you know, Tequila start hitting, y'all start having a real conversation. You're like, man, we gotta really put on for this community, man, because we have such great people here. We got great DJs, Lefty, Naz, all these people, like, you know, Matt, Silvera, like so many creatives. We got dope, you know, event planners, Sydney, like we got, you know, dope people who paint. What you got? Look at what you guys are doing. I can't name 5 people from Teaneck. I don't even think I can name 2 besides y'all 2 who have a podcast.
Yeah,
like,
I appreciate that.
So like, and a podcast themed around the things you guys speak on is not like, you guys aren't getting in a room to just talk about nothing. Like you guys are really having intention in what you're doing. So like, for people to realize like, yo, bro, like the shit that they got going on in LA, the shit that they got going on in Atlanta, the shit they got going on in New York, in the South, wherever, in the Midwest, like we have all that shit in one hub here. And, you know, so like, I think that is a big thing in this show, is to just show like, yo, like y'all actually do fuck with each other. You just didn't have enough time to talk to each other to know. So come to this show and get to talk to each other. So,
Now it's funny too, because you mentioned Jersey. Like I think a lot of people don't realize how many important people we've had. Not just, of course, people that have gone diamond like Fetty Wap. Of course, you know, you got Coy. She's a star in her own right. People forget like DJ Academics from Hackensack. He's literally the most influential.
Forget about that.
He's the most influential voice in hip hop right now.
The Isley brothers are from New Jersey,
and he lived.
They're from Teaneck.
Who?
The Isley brothers apparently.
My mother's street is called Isley Brothers Way.
Literally, they just announced that.
They used to own a house like two houses to the left of my crib, and I remember I used to walk past the house. I'm like, why does that have a fountain and a statue in the front of it? Like, it's a different house. Like everybody got a normal house. I'm
As
like,
a
what's
kid,
that?
you were like,
And I remember we actually went to go see that house when it was being so. But that's neither here nor there. Yeah, the Isley brothers did live in Teaneck. That is very true.
I didn't even know that. Teaneck school. I mean, Kyoko schooled me to that, but
Shoot, David Stern, the NBA commissioner, was
he's from
graduated Teaneck High. Like
we got studios here. I was just talking to them yesterday. They were like, fabulous, be recording in a studio in Jersey. Like all these artists, like shit. Not to throw your information out there, but
it's no secret. Everybody been seeing Fab around Teaneck a whole lot.
Yeah, but so it's
Packers
just,
and all that.
Jersey is like people just don't know. I think a lot of people who are not from here just think that all of Jersey is like the Jersey Shore show.
Yes. And you know what I always explain to people? I'm like, bro, North Jersey Jersey, anything north of Newark is for real like the 6th borough like of New York City, where it's just heavily New York influence down to the way we talk, the way we dress, the way we sound, like our musical taste. A lot of it is New York because I would say probably at least half of the minorities from Jersey have some type of New York roots. Yeah. They either live there or they grew up going there every weekend, something. Yeah. Something. So it's like we get a lot of talent that leaks over, because it's also like a celebrity playground in Jersey, because everybody who makes some money out of New York comes right to Jersey.
Lotus, you know they be at Lotus.
Yeah, exactly. Right, you're gonna be at Lotus. That's this. It's insane to see how much Jersey has, like how many people Jersey really has that have like powerful positions that you wouldn't even know. Like we grew up seeing Joel Santana every day,
all the time.
I used to see him every day at the studio right by Pizza Hut, right by my mom's house. And I remember it was right around the time where he was at the top of the game. He was doing the I Can't Feel My Face tapes with Lil Wayne. And I'm aging myself right now. I'm letting y'all know I'm 30.
That's a fact.
But if you know, you know. Listen, I Can't Feel My Face tapes was crazy. But even back then, right, I'd be like, oh, something's going on in Jersey where like we have a big presence of like celebrities and important people. Like anywhere, like you can go to Starbucks and run into Stephen A. Smith. Like literally, it's like, yo, what the fuck's going on here? Or go to Whole Foods and run into Joe Budden or something. Like, like literally, we're everywhere.
And I think it's important that we come together as, you know, a community and become really like a hub. Like you just named a lot of other places that are hubs where, you know, Atlanta has their own thing going on. Houston, LA, New York has their own hub going on. You know, if Jersey we have a few people in Jersey who have made it, but if we have a hub here, you know, I feel like a lot of people from this area might feel like they might have to go other places in order to really pop and get their name out there and associate with other areas. But if we can really come together ourselves and make this the hub that, you know, that bigs up the people with a lot of talent in this area, you know?
We're a melting pot of just different cultures and creatives and ideas. Right. And to speak on that, so I actually a couple weeks ago I performed at this thing to raise awareness in the town of Teaneck, to raise awareness for people voting in general. Like for younger individuals.
Nice.
And to add to that, so I ended up meeting a couple people, I think, from council here, as well as I think somebody who's planning on running for mayor. And they really liked my music, and we were talking after I did it, and they want me to, you know, perform at a bunch of other stuff. Right. And we were talking, and I kind of explained the point of this show. And we were speaking on, like, they were in full agreement. Like, we need to have our own music festivals
That's
here.
what I'm saying.
Like at Votee Park. Like, we have a huge space. So
they literally have a whole space there.
With a little, like, showcasing stage, too.
So, yeah. So, like, for me...
1,000% agree.
Getting them to come to the show, because we were talking about having them come to the show too, and them seeing it sold out, seeing the community, and then being able to allocate state funding to be able to have our own festivals, which would bring in tourism in the future. Local brands can be able to sell their merch,
vendors and everything,
and then be able to say they put the money up to book like an A Boogie. And then it's like, okay, I can open up for him. Exactly. Or A Money can open up for him. That puts local acts.
Yeah, and that bigs up the entire. See, that I 1,000% on board with all of that.
Yeah, that's like, you know, like I'm really trying to be a hometown hero for Jersey, man, and like really stamp it, like, you know. And every place I go, like, I'm glad that people are like, you're from Jersey, right? I'm like, yes, sir.
But one thing I can say too, like when we talk about like your music buzzing locally, I feel like your music buzz is way past local. Especially you see your numbers. It's like I know your music transcends your area because you don't have a local sound. You don't have a sound. Like when I hear you, I don't think Jersey Drill or Jersey Club or anything.
I got some sexy drill joints in the cut.
Yo, you know, I just discovered what sexy drill was yesterday. My young boy just put me on, and I realized like Cash Cocaine and all that.
You're showing your age crazy.
Yo, bro, I know.
No, I just discovering sexy drill is crazy.
I just discovered the name sexy drill. I didn't realize that's what I was listening to because I'm like,
pull up November 15th. You might hear a little sexy drill from God. I remember last time I was here, he was like, "We're gonna have you in Newark doing drill music." I was like, "Yeah, I never thought myself agreeing with you, but here we are."
Hey, listen, but that's still there. We can still make that happen. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Bear Man Real. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Jersey artists that's going crazy.
All love, but I don't think you're gonna find me on the corner in Newark.
Hey, imagine getting sturdy.
Guy getting sturdy. Okay. I see Key getting sturdy. I definitely see Key getting sturdy.
I see the vision. But I'm talking about Newark artists. Shout out to Fleet too, one of the upcoming artists in Newark. I just want to make sure I shout him out because he got a couple songs that I got on my playlist, and I'm like, yeah, this boy go crazy.
But yeah, man, I mean, just like this unreleased music I got, man.
Yeah, I definitely got to hear some of that.
So,
yeah.
As far as, you know, the show is coming November 15th and everything, but as far, you know, you were at VCon in LA, you know, recently. You were just performing at SoundCloud last night. Do you have anything else up and coming, or, you know, you shooting any videos, releases, or doing anything? You know, as far, because that's, like I said, you're always doing something. You know, you're always you're really good at the grind. And do you have anything coming up at all?
I'm obsessed with it, man.
That's what and I really see it.
You can see
it. Absolutely see it.
It's very easy to say.
Do you have anything else that might be coming up, or, you know?
Shout out to my guy Vizo. We just wrapped the
my boy. That's my boy.
Nah, that's the GOAT, man. We just wrapped the music video for the Gary song, which was so fire. We got Gary in it.
Wow.
We got pretty much like I wanted to just shoot the whole thing with the New York staff. So we got some hilarious shots of like the New York staff and the conference offices at Gary's restaurant. We did like a walkthrough in the kitchen.
That's
so that's coming soon. And then I'm really just ready to just, you know, drop again on a monthly basis.
That's what I like to hear. Drop.
Do you have like a project in mind, or are you just gonna keep dropping singles? Because you really been on your single grind, like.
Yeah, so I mean, I gotta kind of
got a little something. You know what I mean?
I got something in the tuck. I'm still working on it.
Okay.
Still working on it. I don't want to give too much info on it yet.
Of course.
Can we have like an estimate of how many songs we might get?
So far, there's 13 for it.
Wait a minute.
That's a nice project. That's not an EP. That's a nice project.
Yeah, we waiting on that.
Yeah, so I'm, you know, like I've never put out a full length project. And I've got one in the tuck right now, and I'm still kind of like, basically the way I view things is either here's my project, and something can be a good song. Something can be a good song, a releasable song, something that I think people will like. But to me, the project has to be songs that there are no skips on it.
Yeah, okay.
And maybe like some things may be your cup of tea, some things may not, but that there's something for everybody on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so right now I'm trying to add a couple songs to it. I'm not somebody who's into the like 22 song project thing.
Yeah, I think that's too much.
Yeah. I'm cool. I like the 15 mark.
Yeah.
But I also am like, can I beat certain songs out? And anything that is good but may not be for the project will come out.
I was about to say that.
Yeah.
You know?
So I got song, and then like right now I'm just being super hard on myself about songs,
of course,
man.
And listen, you're your own biggest critic.
That's the artist. All great artists go through that.
Yeah,
I'm just really trying to level it up. Like I'm really trying to. I think like from the music that you've heard, I've got a couple older songs that I'm gonna put out just because I know some people have been asking them for a while, and they're a little bit more singly. You know, like and I think everything coming after that is kind of like you're gonna really get to know me. You know, like to speak on one song, I think is probably the most vulnerable song I've ever written, which is called 1,000 Everythings. You know, it's like 1,000 nights I had to set myself aside, 1,000 nights I thought I lost my mind, like 1,000 times I almost cried. Like I got really vulnerable in it, and you know, like A-listers like who's gonna give a cosign. Like I just really went kind of in, and I made something like a week ago that was pretty vulnerable. And not all the songs on the project are like extreme vulnerability, but
you could feel that. I feel that.
There's something with each song where like I want you to start to really know not just that it's a dope song and listen, but like having something to say, you know. And I think like that's the thing a lot of artists don't have in this instant gratification of music, which is when you go to Guy, you know you're going to be hearing these things. When you go to Cash Cobain, you know you're going to be hearing Slizzy talking about, you know, very sexual, pillar, you know, vibey. And you may hear some songs from me that can fit in that realm, but like even the Sexy Drill songs that I previewed one of them on my gram, like it's talking about heartbreak. I'm not talking about like, you know, the player shit. I'm talking about like, you know, heartbreak and things not working out with somebody, which is to me is like an unconventional approach on Sexy Drill. So You know, this project that I have in the tuck, there's no estimate on when it'll be done. But there will be music completely coming out before that. There will be probably new music coming out next month. So
fire. I'm waiting on that.
That's what we like to hear.
Come to the show and you'll find out. You know.
Oh, listen, we're gonna hear some of it at the show. We're gonna be at that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Front row at that motherfucker.
Listen, let me air this out real quick because Kamal was not gonna pop out.
Listen,
let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Respectfully to him, he had some obligations.
Yeah, I had some obligations.
I was like, I'm not hearing none of that shit. I better see your ass at the show. Like
on the 15th.
That day, I had some obligations, but I'm like, nah, I gotta make it work.
Nah, he made it work. I was like, I can't even bring this up on the podcast.
He was teasing me about, yo, bro, like, what's going on? People.
So, I actually wanted to ask because, with your, I feel like with your level of talent, like, do people hear your music and has anybody ever approached you to like, oh, would you write for me? Did you ever consider? Or have you ever had have you ever ran for artists? Obviously, you don't have to disclose who, but I just always wanted to ask because when I hear, like I said, I hear your sound, and I'm like, bro, like this is a hit, like no matter what. This is just missing, like I guess whatever that push is to get it into these like giant, like
people's hands.
Which like comes with all the politics that come with that.
Because the politics and the funding, right?
Yeah,
the funding. That's the only thing that stops.
I get told that all the time. Like,
man,
I
feel like you're one click away.
That's all I've been hearing for the last year. You're one play away, one thing away from going crazy. Like my boy Ali, I gotta call him back, but he literally said that to me the other day. There's this guy on the gram. He's like a really funny influencer and chef. His name's Prosciutto Poppy. And
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
from like Staten Island or something.
He's from Boston.
Oh, I'm sure Prosciutto Poppy.
Similar vibe though, like
conceptually. That sounds
but he's somebody who like fucks with my music heavy. And he called me to tell me that they were saying the same shit, like one play away, one song away. And for me, I hear that and I'm like, then I got to figure out what the fuck the play is. Just being honest, like,
but absolutely.
I've been hit up all the time to write for people. I've written on a couple things. Nothing that I'd say is like super grandiose. And there's been tons of times where I was just like in the, pitching stuff. I wasn't really on the vibe of like, yeah, I wrote this. I was just helping. And maybe for me at that time or in that moment, I was kind of like, maybe like a little creatively frustrated with myself. So I was like, let me try and like help to see if that'll allow the gates to, and I'm not opposed for writing for people. It's just like that. I don't like the way the writing business is set up. Like
the politics of it.
Talk about it, because I'm from the outside looking in.
Listen, talk about it for the people.
Well, so
in your opinion,
say I meet an artist who's signed to a label,
right?
And we vibe, and I write some shit, and they cut it, and they love the song, and their label's like, we're not putting that out. Then 3 years later, I find out the song is coming out, and then I get paid for it. Then it's kind of like, I'm not like, for me, I'm so purpose driven that. I'd really like to be popping and then write for people too.
Yeah.
And while I'm working on my shit, write for people, because when you're popping, if they're like, yeah, guy wrote this shit, they're like, we have to, this is like, when Drake writes for somebody now, like he wrote that song on Beyonce's album. That shit is coming out. Like, so that, that's kind of like the way it's set up in the writing biz is like, you will make a bunch of shit for pitch. Some of this shit is just so corny to me. Like, oh, here's a document of like, we need a hook that's this and that. We need an up tempo. I'm like, dude, I just make music.
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
Like, I make music off feeling.
Exactly. It's a creative process. Like, because
when you write for people, you're writing from their perspective. But I feel like as such a talent as yourself, I feel like you could just, I don't know, because like I said, you could try it, like just try writing from this perspective and that perspective. You might unlock some shit you didn't even know you had. But I can definitely say, like you say, you're purpose driven. You want to, your shit is about you and how you're actually feeling. So I can see how that can be difficult. But I just think about names like The Dream and like names like people who are reputable writers. I'm trying to think of another good example.
Ed Sheeran was a big writer before.
See, I didn't know that. You just put me
He
onto
wrote
that.
like Love Yourself for Justin Bieber.
Wow. See, I had no idea.
Sway
Lee, I know writes
Sway Lee.
A lot of good
Taylor
hooks and
Swift
tracks.
is a phenomenal writer as well.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, like she is like an insanely good songwriter. Like she wrote that song, that Calvin Harris song that Rihanna was on. and you can actually hear her voice in the demo. Like they left some of the demo in there. It's fire. Damn. Like I love writing, man. Like writing drives me nuts. It's like this thing where you love it and hate it so much at the same time, because it's like really confronting yourself. You're constantly like, are you really being truthful with yourself right now? Like, is this really the best you can do?
Damn.
And it's really like therapy, because it forces you to really think about how do you feel, you know? Because I'll like want a club record and I'll be trying and it's not coming. And it's just because where I'm at is like, I'm going through some shit and I can't.
I'm not there right now.
Yeah, I'm not there. So it forces me to confront myself.
Vulnerability.
Yeah. And I think like writing, it's hard for me to even, I haven't gotten to the point where I'm ready to work with writers for my own shit. Like it's different if like I'm, you know, recording a line and Key is like, I think you should swap this for that.
Yeah, I'm talking straight up reference track.
Nah, I'm not. I don't think I could. I don't think I.
Or like
I don't
this
say,
hook or this, you know.
I don't want to say never, but
yeah,
like I could see myself crafting a song with someone and we catch a vibe.
Yeah,
but like I want to be a great writer in my own right.
Absolutely.
Like you know, like
I definitely feel that.
And I don't have no shade towards anybody who works with writers.
Yeah, nah.
But for me right now, I think writing for other people, it's just where I'm at. I'm so close to crossing that threshold that it's hard for me to be like, because I'm trying to find something that people aren't looking for right now.
Yeah. Plus, you might give up your best efforts to somebody else, and then all of a sudden you realize, like, damn, I could have kept that for myself. Like,
yeah, I don't believe in that though. I think that's a scarcity mindset and not an abundant mindset. Like you may strike some magic, but if your intentions are pure, you're gonna find something new. Like Kanye is never. Like Kanye is giving so much shit away, but his catalog speaks for himself.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very true.
Good point.
It does.
Future too. Future's another one that's giving away.
Future wrote "Drunken Love."
I do that.
That Body Party for Sierra, and a couple other R&B hits for girls. You're like, whoa, Future.
Like,
Future is criminally slept on when it comes to other facets of just being like known as like the poppin' rapper. Like he is
for sure.
He's crazy. I love Future.
Somebody like Quincy Jones, who's written for everybody.
Yeah.
Listen, every song, like every song in over the past 30 years, I feel
think
like
when
Quincy
it's all
Jones
said and done, Future gonna go down as the greatest. Like he's gonna go down like on some like Future Hendrix for real.
For real.
I need a Hendrix too.
Like
Future,
listen,
if you hear this, drop
Future.
Hendrix
I need
too,
4 more tapes before the 2025 because you know he got it at the top.
And speaking of,
like there's gonna be 20 posthumous albums of Future whenever he passes, God forbid, in 40 years, 50 years.
He's the only artist. He's the first artist to have 3 #1 track list albums within 6 months with his last drop, because he dropped I Don't Trust You, I Still Don't Trust You, and then the new one, they all went #1.
Bro, he's disgusting. He's
no, go ahead.
I'll tell you something. I watched a documentary on Future real quick, and I'll tell you, like, this is a big gem for sure. And I think a lot of, in this age of instant gratification, like Future has been making music since 2004.
Yep.
Yes.
Like think about that. Think about that. If you 22 right now and you were born at the time Future, I don't even know if that's the correct age frame.
It's not, but that's all right.
It's all right.
My math 2 years old in 2004.
But whenever you born,
you'd be 20. You'd be 20.
Yeah. Wow. Jeez.
No, it's okay.
I need some sleep. But Future started making music in 2004. Future didn't pop off until, like, really pop off, like, I'd say, like, until, like, 2014.
Yeah, that's when he really took off.
Yes. Really took off, like, right after that Honest era, I think he really took off.
He don't get me wrong, Racks on Racks was lit. That was the very beginning intro to, and he same damn time, Tony Montana.
Tony Montana.
And then he really took off right around when he got with Sierra, like 2012.
You feel me? The Free Bricks, and then boom, when he really became Hendrix.
Because Future is, like, probably almost 40 years old now.
He is, 41.
And people who are like 20 or 16 love his music like as if it's new.
I swear I said the same thing.
Yeah.
And I think like that goes to show you like there is no timeline for it.
Facts.
Everybody's story is different.
Absolutely.
You know, and you're like someone like Future is just like, if you never stop, you're gonna make it at some point. Like,
yeah, man. It's a really good point because I feel like a lot of artists get discouraged because they feel like, man, I get into a certain age, people don't want to hear you no more. But the truth be told, I feel like the music industry changed in the last 10 years. Where like 10 years ago, it was you had to be under 20 to be like a popular rapper.
Yeah.
Now you look up, all the poppin' rappers are 30 plus.
Yeah, didn't Tizo Touchdown just win like at the Billboard Awards? He won like new like rookie of the year.
And it's like
he's like 33.
Yeah, I was about to say, shout out to Tizo. Shout out to my boy Lawson too. My boy Lawson was putting me on a Tizo.
He's fine.
6 years ago.
But
by accident.
Think of somebody like 2 Chainz. 2 Chainz, how old was he when he popped after Player Circle? You know?
No,
then he started going feature crazy. And it's like he was in his 30s.
50 Cent took off at 28.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kanye was like 28 when he took off.
Jay-Z. Jay-Z was like...
Hov didn't even really, he didn't. His first album, he was 27. Reasonable Doubt.
Lucky Day is like 35.
Lucky Day.
Yo, the country artist, the big
Jelly
one that's
Roll.
Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll is late 30s.
Matter of fact, I want to ask. I need you to name your top 5 rappers. I know it's a little off, but I just thought I definitely wanted to get this because not top 5 rappers, top 5 artists, I should say.
That's a lot harder.
I fucked you up with that one?
Yeah.
Just name 5, then. They don't have to be in no order. Just
Or influences.
5 people you listen to consistently besides yourself, because I know most people that make music listen to it like themselves, like majority of the time.
Okay. All right. Y'all threw a lot.
I know. All right.
Okay. Y'all said 5 people I listen to the most right now,
Yes.
5 favorite artists. I could do top 5 rappers for sure.
5 favorite artists, period.
Okay,
Leave it at that.
period.
Yep, that's it.
Kanye.
Okay.
Sade.
Ooh.
Damn, you know who's been going up there a lot for me in the last? D'Angelo.
Oh, wow.
Damn.
D'Angelo bag.
Yeah, he letting us know. He 90s baby. He showing your age. Everybody.
How many was that?
50.
That was 3.
That's 3.
Drake, of course.
Okay.
Drake, Aubrey Graham.
One more.
I want to say Michael Jackson.
Ooh.
Can't go wrong with that.
Can't go wrong.
Yeah, because like although
great 5.
like artists, I don't listen to Michael Jackson like every day type shit, but he like I go through stints where like I constantly like revisit, his projects, and I'll be in like a different like I religiously watch the Michael Jackson Bad documentary.
That's a great documentary.
Yeah, and it just like his work ethic was just
he was
insane.
It killed him. No, literally though. Like it literally was like part of his demise. A lot of these great artists, part of their demise was their work ethic and their inability to sleep, inability to have natural habits like eat when they're supposed to eat, sleep when they're supposed to sleep. They come to drugs and a bunch of other stuff because it's like, yo, they're a machine at that point.
I know somebody who used to be one of his guitarists on tour, and he was saying how a lot of the times, and he had Mike's hotel room was upstairs, and Mike used to carry on a briefcase with a wood floor, and
so he can dance
all night. He said he would hear taps all night. He would dance all night. He said he wouldn't sleep.
In the documentary, they'd say like this guy would, like you really understood how much of the craft he studied, because even in his dancing, there was like West Side Story. Like pulling from like Broadway dancing into like street dancing, it's crazy. And like him choosing to bring certain people in to help choreograph is like because he wanted. It's crazy. Like his attention to detail is crazy, and something I'm striving to get for when like more resources and I have the ability to do other things. I could give you also top 5 rappers though if you do want to know.
Let's get a top 5 rappers real quick.
Yeah. Let's go.
No specific order.
Okay.
Kanye, Drake, Wayne. Hov, and then this is gonna fuck people up a little bit. Mace.
Past the Mace.
Wow.
Yo,
I just think Mace, like Mace and Biggie, to me have
so
like
underrated.
Just like I don't think anybody's flowed over a beat.
Yo,
like nobody's had a better pocket to me in rap, period, than like Mace or Biggie.
I think Mace is. I think Mace is not talking about enough.
Too.
That's a great one.
Jadakiss bar for bar, but Mace, his style, he was so swaggy.
He
was the human.
So
he was Harlem in human form.
Yo, he used to float on beats.
My mom loved shit that was just smooth. Like growing up, I was telling Key like when I remember being super young and my mom playing Gold Digger by Kanye and I'm in the back seat and my mom just loved player shit. Yeah, she loved player shit. Like, and I just think like I like those are my top 5 for different reasons.
Yes.
And Mace to me is just like pockets untouchable.
Shout out to Mace, shout out to Cam, shout out to their whole podcast.
They crazy with the sports.
Y'all going up there too, though.
Nah, thank you, man. But listen,
appreciate that, man.
We gotta remind people, November 15th.
Yes.
Debonair music
called Teaneck Nj.
Queen and Road.
Listen.
Please buy your tickets now because they're gonna sell out.
Get your
Half of
tickets.
them gone. I'm telling you.
Half of them is already gone.
Half of them
We
gone.
16 days away from showtime. So listen, y'all make sure y'all tap in.
Absolutely, we're gonna put the link for the tickets in the bio of this video. So
Yeah, and
make
look out on my story, the Free Gem story, God's story,
Yes,
Cinco story.
yo,
we're gonna
listen.
be promoting
because it's time for this to really take off. We definitely want to appreciate you for coming down.
Thank y'all so much. Man.
Absolutely, this is a part
pleasure's
2.
all ours.
Listen, next time part 3 is gonna have to be Madison Square Garden,
baby. Listen, if you didn't know, now you know. Patience is Key. Guy featuring Vayner X. Vayner X featuring Guy is out now on all streaming platforms. Check your boy out. You know the vibe.
Absolutely, make sure you go check that
musical,
out.
November 15th. We gonna see y'all there. Free Gems will definitely be there.
Free Gems is in the building.
God, thank you so much.
Thank you, God.
This is gonna age beautifully.
Shout out to Free Gems podcast. Y'all the best.
Yes, sir. This is gonna age beautifully. Give me about a year or two, and you're gonna see exactly what the vision was.
We
like, this
gonna see this.
right here is a
we
genius.
gonna see this. You gonna see.
I'm here.
Thank you guys for so much. We out of here.
That was a great episode. We got a bunch of